morning, everybody. Welcome to Through the Veil Live. It is All Saints Day up here in the house, and we are super excited about our show. But first, we got to say this just in. We are now #1 in Weiner, Arkansas. Thank you, Weiner.
Yeah, and to show our support, here's a picture of our #1 person in Weiner. This is Jeb.
Lower it a little bit.
Said, if he ain't listening to Through the Veil, he's going to get mean. I don't know exactly what that means, but I think the picture says it all.
Lower it a little bit, Greg. You were cutting off Mr. Weiner's head. There we go.
Wow.
Aw, that's one good-looking guy there. Again, thank you to Weiner, Arkansas. We sure appreciate you tuning in with us every week. Of course, you are watching Past TV Network, the #1 paranormal and talk radio and everything place to be with over 180 shows a week. Please, before you leave, go up and click the like button. And while you're liking things, don't forget to visit throughtheveil.org. We've got all kinds of stuff coming up, an event coming up this December with Mr. Panache Desai, and of course Through the Veil next June.
Awesome.
I know, it is going to be awesome. We're going to have a good time. And welcome back to Greg Munson, my dashing co-host that you're seeing there in the center of your screen. Greg took a bit of a hiatus for vacation, I think, in Hawaii.
I so wish. I had to go to work. Yeah, that's like a 4-letter word in my house.
Crickets. Like it's a 4-letter word in most houses, probably, Greg. And then on the other side over there, you are looking at the dashing and so cute Mr. Larry Flaxman. It's so nice to have you on, Larry.
Cute.
He is cute, and he's just super sweet.
Oh, dear God.
If you've been at the last 2 of the 3 Through the Veil, #2 and #3, you had the opportunity to meet Larry Flaxman and hopefully have a chance to sit and talk with him. He is a wealth of knowledge, and we're going to get into some of that. But, Greg, will you do me the honors of introducing our super guest?
Oh, I think I can say a couple words for my buddy Larry. Let's see. What I know about Mr. Larry Flaxman. Larry Flaxman is a best-selling author, paranormal investigator, public speaker, scientific researcher, screenwriter. He is also the author of such popular books as 1111, The Time Prop Phenomenon, The Resonant Key, The Déjà Vu Enigma, and future publication, Time Voyagers, The Past, Present, and Future of Time Travel. Larry has appeared on the Discovery Channel, on Ghost Lab, as sharing his theories on resonance and EVPs. He's currently developing, correct me if I'm wrong, Larry, developing projects for future films and television, including the 19 Hertz, the movie, and is a staff writer for Intrepid magazine, a regular contributor to the Phenomena, and also contributor to Taps Paranormal magazine and the New Dawn magazine. Larry is known for his ability to bring highly complex scientific concepts to a mainstream audience at such events as Dragon Con and, of course, Through the Veil. Larry!
Thanks for having me, guys.
Anytime.
You're on our show on 11/1/11.
I am, yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool. Greg didn't realize that. I had to point it out.
It's 11/1. If it was actually 11/11/11, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool. Well, thank you, Larry, for coming on, because I know you have a crazy schedule and lots of stuff that you're always doing. So we appreciate it when you can take the time out to hang out with us.
Not a problem. I can always make time for you guys.
It's so nice. It's so nice.
Such a nice
I don't
man.
even know where to start, Greg. There's so much that we want to talk with Larry. So why don't you start, and I'm going to jump in.
Okay. I remember we were talking about this earlier today. I did try to ask Larry, but he was getting a little bit busy. Do you think there's anything going on with today's date with 11/1/11? Do you think there's any significance?
What was that?
What did you hear?
Heard that.
Y'all not hear that?
You
Sound
heard
like the
the
end
screen.
dun 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 dun
You guys hear that, or is that just me?
No, I heard it for a second.
You probably hear, I was snapping to kind of get them to turn down the TV of The Walking Dead that's blasting in the background.
Maybe that's, okay, that's what it is. I was going to say, it sounds like a TV. Okay, so do I think there's anything really significant about today's date? You know, no, not really. I mean, if you think about it in binary terms, today is really 11-01-11, so there's really not that synchronistic continuation of numbers. You know, obviously there's probably some people that would say, well, it's a sequence of ones, so that there is something significant to it. But, you know, I don't know. Nothing significant has really happened to me today. You know, I had an incredibly busy day at work and came home and get to hang out with you guys. So, I mean, that I can say that.
There's nothing significant.
Well, no, that's not what I meant. Nothing, you know, there wasn't, I have not had any kind of a life-changing event that has occurred. And, of course, the day's not over, but no, I don't. I really don't. You know, I think a lot of times people ascribe numbers to a lot of things that there's really no, it's really not a necessary thing, you know. Numbers have always been very important in culture, obviously. I mean, there are numbers that are very significant to various cultures, and you know, 11 obviously has some very significant cultural significance to us. But as far as today,
wait a minute, what does 11 have that's significant for us?
Well, it's greater than 10, and exactly, it's a best-selling book. I mean, come on. No, I haven't. Have you guys had anything, seriously, on a serious note, have you guys had anything different happen today than yesterday?
Not on my side.
No.
No?
No, not at all. Not at all. But it's not 11-11 like you said. It is 11-01. Right. And are you thinking that anything is going to happen on 11-11-11?
You know, that's a really good question. Yes, something will happen on 11-11-11. I'm actually going to be the keynote speaker at a pretty big 11-11 conference that I'm opening the thing up, and guaranteed that's going to be a question that they're going to ask me is, you know, what is significant about this evening that every other night is not? You know, if nothing else, even if it's not a dramatic, instantaneous, or spontaneous change, you know, I think that 11-11 really represents kind of this progression, if you will, of thought. It's kind of the new belief system. I mean, if you look back over the past 5 years, or you could even go further back than that, but we've started to see this real increase in awareness of ourselves. We've started to be more aware of societal needs. We've started to be more of a caring culture, especially, you know, after the events of 9/11. Especially, you know, there has been this movement where people have become more spiritually aware, more socially aware, more socially responsible for themselves. And I think 11/11 probably represents the culmination, or if you will, the peak of that movement. So, you know, do I think something dramatic and physical is going to happen? No, I don't. Just like Y2K was basically a non-event. We all geared up for something that really didn't occur. I think from a spiritual perspective, absolutely, 11/11 is probably the tip of the iceberg of what has been building up for the past 10 or so years. So, you know, I'm actually really excited about this time. I think, you know, I've certainly seen a shift in myself. I've seen a shift in my belief system, in how I interact with people. You know, I like to think that I'm a better person than I was 10 years ago, just because of that same thing. You know, I've become more aware of everything around, and you know, hopefully that's what 11/11 will represent to a lot of people.
Okay, so then that kind of leads me to another question when it comes to the calendars, the Mayan calendar.
Yes.
In your honest opinion, what do you think the Mayan calendar actually represents?
have you ever seen a U.S. calendar or a swimsuit calendar, for instance, that is more than a year or two into the future? In other words, have you ever seen a Sports Illustrated swimsuit calendar that's dated 2018? Well, whatever. But seriously, have you ever seen a calendar that's dated 2018 that's produced in 2009 or 2010 or 11? No.
Right.
The reason there's not. I think what happened in the Mayan calendar, and I think this is a very responsible thing to have done, was that they basically just said, well, when 2012 rolls around, we'll just create some more calendars. You only create a finite number of calendars, basically. If they would have done 2013, then we would have the 2013 people that would be, saying that that's the end of the world and doom and gloom and all this stuff. So, just the fact alone that they progressed the calendar that many thousand years in the future, to me, is amazing, because you can't walk into Walmart, buy a calendar that's dated 2018, So, I don't think there's a lot to it.
It's just a large calendar that shows from one point to another, as far as these were the numbers that they were able to actually fit on that piece of rock.
Absolutely. That, or maybe they just said, screw this. I'm tired of writing calendar numerics out. Let's just go up to 2011, 2012. Let's just roll the dice and figure out where we're going to end it. And then when society comes to that point in time, we'll just create more calendars to go another 1,000 years in the future.
Well, was there...
That's one way of looking at it.
Did they create anything else? We're just talking about a calendar, a physical calendar, but did they talk anything about something happening on that day, or is everything based on the fact that that's the last date?
What my understanding is that our current interpretation, and I don't have any of my 2012 notes in front of me, so you guys are totally catching here. I'm just trying to remember this by virtue of my aging memory. The modern interpretation of 2012 was very much guided by John Major Jenkins, and from what my understanding is, his interpretation of it basically came from the interpretation of a Mayan ball game. And basically the ball game, and I don't remember the exact specifics behind that, but the ball game dictated the length of term of the calendar. So I could pull up my notes on the computer.
I don't know if you can hear me, Larry. It sounds like we've kind of lost a little bit of audio and video right now. I'm just going to give it another second here to see if it pops back up. And it says that we've lost the internet connection. So